The National.Safety.Council, in collaboration with the United States Department of Labor, Division of Labor Standards, presents Principles and Interest. And we don't mean the amount due on the mortgage. No, sir, we're talking about the principles or basic common sense fundamentals of safety and foremanship, and how to keep the interest of every man in the plant keyed up on the tremendously important subject of safety so that they will be working for it the same as we are. Maintaining interest in safety is a problem, and every foreman knows it. Some, of course, have been a lot more successful than others. Right now, our purpose is to put the eagle eye on a lot of ideas that reliable experience has taught us will actually work. No theory, but just plain, hard-earned, common-sense ideas that anybody can use. To show you what I'm talking about, let me introduce John Payne, a foreman with the Smith Manufacturing Company. John Payne's department has won more awards for safety performance and production performance than you can shake a stick at. Payne has been chairman of the Foreman Safety Committee and has set a number of other foremen straight on their thinking about safety methods. Tonight, John Payne is at home. The doorbell rings, and in walks his neighbor, Al, short for Alvin Miller. Miller is a foreman for another company. The conversation was one worth recording, and here it is.
Yeah, I'll say we're swamped with work. Our problem is to get enough help, and then you got to watch them every minute, or they'll wreck the machinery or get hurt themselves.
Well, Al, as an old Smith employee, you should know how to deal with the accident problem.
Our problem is different, John. We're rushed to death with ward production, got inexperienced help, rapid turnover. Those old safety ideas won't work for us.
Well, we've got all those new problems of manpower and production, too. But we decided that with all this rush, we didn't have time for accidents. So we're bearing down on safety harder than ever. We're using the old stuff and a bunch of new stuff, too. And it pays.
Well, we put guards on all the machines, and that includes the old ones that were once discarded. We published a set of safety rules that look like they ought to cover almost everything, but this gang seems to think rules are just made to be broken.
What, for example?
Well, one of my men doing a grinding job got a chip in his eye and was out for a week.
Mm-hmm. No goggles?
Why, sure he had goggles. But he said he had just pushed him up on his head for a few minutes to rest his eyes. I'd fire the guy, or at least lay him off, but we can't afford to let anybody go. Then a lathe operator cut his hand on a steel shaving the other day. He didn't go to the first aid room with it. And Monday, when he showed up, infection had set in. Such things are all covered in the rule book, but he paid no attention to it.
This is getting interesting. Go on.
Well, it isn't just the fellows who break rules that cause trouble. You can't make a rule to cover everything that might happen, you know. Just the other day, a fella used a monkey wrench on a hex nut when he should have used an end wrench. You know what happened, John. The wrench slipped, and he landed on his neck against the machine across the aisle. Looks like they get hurt out of pure cussedness.
What excuse did he give?
Well, that's just it. He's a good man, a hustler. He told my assistant somebody had borrowed the end wrench, and he didn't want to hold up production waiting for it. It's hard to get tough with a guy like that. I sent a fellow for some cutting tools and told him to hurry. Well, he sure did. On his way back, he found a drag of empty cars that blocked his way across the siding. He decided to climb through. Just as he got to the coupler, the drag was jerked. He took a nosedive, got a sprained back, and a lot of the tools were damaged. He's darn lucky he wasn't killed. Now, who could have foreseen that one and made a rule to cover it? If all our accidents were alike or caused by the same thing, I'd know what to do about them. But tomorrow, it'll be something else entirely new and unexpected.
Yeah, they take chances.
Yes, but how to stop it?
Well, they don't seem to be interested in safety, Al. Now, what do you do besides guarding machines and publishing rule books?
You mean posters, committees, meetings, and so on?
Well, yes. That's all part of our program.
We're too loaded down with war orders to take time for such things, John.
Yeah? Why, Al, I could tell you plenty about accidents in the early days of the safety program at Smith Manufacturing. We first put guards on all machines. We didn't have modern new equipment like most of yours. But we did the best we could and figured our problem was licked. I'll never forget a foreman's meeting held a few months later.
We're still having lots of accidents. The rules are published, not obeyed. The men sometimes even take the machine guards off because they don't like them.
Sometimes they even blame the guards for the accident. The other day, a man was grinding a drill on the side of a wheel, which he shouldn't have been doing, of course. The drill slipped down between the wheel and the guard, taking the man's finger with it. Everybody blamed the guard.
Well, as I see it, we just got to get tough. When men break the rules, we'll lay them off a few days without pay. That'll whip them into line. And if that doesn't work...
But, John, we can't lay men off. We need 'em too bad.
I know, Al. And that isn't the right answer. It didn't work very well for us. And a few examples will show you why. According to this report, Joe violated a safety rule and was injured because of it. So when he comes back, give him another week off to think it over. We've just got to make an example of some of these fellas.
Okay, boss, but it doesn't seem right to make the guy lose more time.
Oh, but Charlie, I've already lost a week, and I can't afford it. Besides, everybody else has broken the same rule, and you haven't laid them off or even stopped them. Just because I have bad luck and get hurt.
Now, Joe, that's no excuse, and we've got to teach you fellows that a rule is a rule.
Well, about all we got out of that was to make a lot of the boys mad. So one day, the boss got us all together again.
It doesn't look as if guards and rules and punishment will do the job. We're still having too many accidents due to carelessness or ignorance. So we're going to switch over to an educational campaign. We're going to keep every man in the plant so aware of safety that he'll cut out his careless habits.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope. We're going to have a series of safety posters that the men will see every time they turn around. Bulletin boards calling attention to safety will be all over the plant.
What about the guards? Some of the men don't like 'em.
Well, take some of them off if they're in the way, and forget about the rule books, too. Believe me, if this doesn't work...
And so I suppose you're telling me that posters and bulletin boards with no guards and no rules did the trick. Bunk, John.
Now, hold your horses, Al. There's more to this story. It did bring some results. For a while, we thought we had found the answer. Then, zingo, we had a run of bad accidents. 2 or 3 men lost fingers on punch presses. One man lost an eye from a splash of iron in the foundry, and there were several more just as bad. One of the foremen just about said what we were all thinking.
What's the use? It looks like accidents will happen, and there isn't much we can do about it.
Fortunately, everybody didn't agree with him. The management asked an outside safety engineer to study the figures and make a report. A fellow by the name of Hassett, I believe.
First of all, let me say the figures show you've made some pretty good progress. However, these charts show that your record isn't as good as many other companies in the same kind of business. You did some good things to lower the accident rate, but you didn't carry through far enough, and you never have had the full cooperation of all of your foremen. This is essential. Most accidents, the records show, have more than one cause. Generally, 2 principal causes are evident. An unsafe condition, such as an unguarded punch press, and an unsafe act, such as a worker reaching between the dies in violation of instructions. Both types of causes must be eliminated. Unsafe conditions are the responsibility of management. You got off to a good start by putting on guards, but there are many other unsafe conditions in the plant, such as crowded aisles. Unsafe acts are even harder to control. They result from ignorance or from some faulty attitude, such as indifference. It is also management's job to change these attitudes. Boil it down, and there are 4 major jobs to do. Getting these jobs done is as complicated as management itself, and several methods must be continuously employed. Number 1, go over the whole plant and get rid of the hazards. Number 2, study every job to discover unsafe methods and eliminate them. Number 3, give everyone definite instruction how to do his job safely. Number 4, develop an active program to keep every employee interested in safety.
Review these 4 jobs to do while the operator turns the record.